This episode is brought to you by the Witty and Gritty 5-Minute Mini Journal. It's centered around Ephesians 6:10-18, known as the Armor of God. Once you download this freebie, over the next 7 days, take a few minutes each day and dive into what the Armor of God is and why it's important to Christians in their daily walk. You can find this at wittyandgritty.blog. We'll link it in the show notes.
Welcome to the Witty and Gritty podcast, where we believe that lifelong learning and relentless determination are essential to developing your passions and reaching your goals. Here to help you along the way are the hosts of the show. Take it away, ladies.
Hey y'all, I'm Brooke.
And I'm Farron.
As educators and high achievers, we're passionate about providing our listeners with effective strategies to help navigate life's obstacles and reach your goals sooner.
Join us as we break down credible research that gives you a fresh perspective and challenges your limiting beliefs.
Laugh and grow as we share personal anecdotes and interviews from people that have demonstrated what it takes to be successful.
By implementing these practices, you will develop your unique skill set and learn how to better serve your community.
Get your mind right.
And enjoy this time designed just for you.
Before we dive into today's episode, we want to give you our why behind this interview.
Yeah, so we're always on the lookout for books and resources that will help our audience fulfill their needs or anything that they're having trouble with. And so today's episode is on Christian care boxes, and we'll go deeper into that. But it definitely aligns with our core values. And one of our core values is all about spiritual growth and being lifelong learners and, growing closer to God every day. And so this was a product that we felt aligned with our goals, and it fulfills a need with our younger audience members as well as our older audience members.
Right. So Christian Care Box is designed for college students. And we are looking for mamas and dads and grandparents out there who want to send a care package to their college kid, but they don't want it to feel too cheesy, and they also want to maybe have a faith element in there somehow. So Christian Care Box is going to take care of all those needs.
Yeah, there are some pretty scary statistics out there. Now that I'm a parent, when I was a college kid, I didn't think these were scary. I probably thought I was actually invincible to some of these.
Right.
But it's alarming how many students actually walk away from faith during this time in their life. And then there's even some statistics on students that maybe don't walk away from their faith and change their beliefs, but just stop attending church for all sorts of reasons.
Right. If we're looking up some research here, one of the things we're looking at right now says that kids moved to college, so they stopped attending the church that they had always gone to because it's either too far away or they can't find one that is similar or comfortable with what they were used to. They don't feel connected with people in the church because they don't know any of them. They just moved there, right? So there's just different reasons that kids may not attend church once they go to college. So Christian Care Box is helping fill the gap there with just those gentle reminders. It's not all up in your face. It's just like, just a little nudge here.
Yeah, and as a college student, who's not going to look forward to receiving a package like this?
Give me the snacks.
Yes, I do have to say, I'd never received one. What did they call them around finals week?
Finals boxes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Tricky. And I don't blame mom and dad. They were always good about visiting and taking me out to eat and buying all the snacks at the grocery store and doing all the things. But I was very happy and a little envious when my friends got care packages.
That's why I shared with you, Farron. Well, and so I like how you're addressing one of the pain points anyway. It's hard to... Have you ever tried to ship a care package somewhere? Man, Christian Care Box is going to take care of it for you, and it's a subscription basis, so you don't even have to think about it. You're going to automate it. So That takes all of the stress out of your hands.
My mom ordered my daughter some new fuzzy jammies because she's growing like a weed. Mm-hmm. And my mom, I guess, was feeling a little embarrassed for how short they were on her sleeves and pants. And I was like, Mom, she refuses to give them up. Anyways, she told my daughter that they were coming in to her house, but she'd have to wait till the next time she came over to get them. And my daughter was like, why don't you just ship them to me?
Oh, snap.
And we all were like, okay, you obviously don't know how much that costs, which led to it costs money to ship things.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it costs 2 or 3 times as much as the stuff in the box just to ship the thing.
Right. So again, this product speaks to us and our core values and aligns there, which is why we are featuring them on this podcast. So without further ado, we are going to bring on the founders of Christian Care Box.
Episode 101 Dalmatians. What? Which one's Corella? It's gotta be me, right?
I don't know.
You know what? We do have negative inner voices in our heads.
That's it.
Enneagram talk. Okay, so today...
Fortunately, this episode is not about the Dalmatians.
Nor Cruella. But it does combat the devil, right?
Oh.
So I didn't even mean to.
Man, it was so good.
Okay, so today's episode 101. We're officially over the 3-digit mark, which is exciting. And we have brought back Dr. Joe Paris and his business partner, Buddy Finney. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us. We're excited.
Yes, and Joe, you get bragging rights as the first repeat pastor. So all you other pastors out there listening, yes, we invited everyone back, but Joe got the first invite. So he gets that title for sure.
Well done. Okay, so how did you guys meet? Tell us a little bit about yourselves, especially if no one has any context on who you guys are.
I'm a campus pastor at Community Life Church, Sea Life, the Sunnyvale campus. And Buddy, my business partner, has been going to Sea Life for...
Right at 2 years.
Right at 2 years. And so we met, I think it was the first Sunday he walked in, met him and his family, and we got to talking, and then went to a baseball game, I think.
We did go to a baseball game. I moved to Sunnyvale in 2019 with my wife, Sherry, and our 2 kids, Abby and Tyler. And our neighbors invited us to come to Sea Life and kind of showed us around. But as we were leaving, I remember Joe coming up to me and Sherry, and he asked us, what are your names, and introduced himself. We come back the next week, and Joe remembers our names. And he says, hey, Sherry, hey, Abby, hey, Tyler. And so it kind of struck me a little bit, but I just hey, Joe, and, went on about my business. We went to a Rangers game together, and while we're sitting in the seats, I just randomly asked him, hey, dude, like, how do you remember people's names like that? And he told me a story. He said that he's only told a handful of people, so now he's telling hundreds of people, thousands of people. Yes. And so what Joe does as a campus pastor, he said he's not good at remembering names, but he created this process where when he meets somebody for the first time, he ends up going on to their social media after the services are over that day, takes a snapshot of their social media picture and saves it in a special folder in his phone. And then he writes their names down and he prays for them every day for the next 6 days. And on the 7th day, it just is natural that he would say hello to somebody he's been praying for. And so from that perspective, I just really felt like Joe was a process-oriented person. And so I'm kind of a little bit of a serial entrepreneur, and Joe noted that about me. And so anyways, he shared his idea, and that story about how he remembers people's names kind of just kept coming back in my mind whenever he said, hey, is this something you'd like to partner on? Joe's a very process-oriented person, and when he's passionate about something, he puts a process to it. And I think our product, our service does that very, very well. So
and so I've been, I've shared with you guys before, I've probably had a million different ideas of businesses to start. And so probably needed a little bit of encouragement to get over the hump. And so I pitched the idea to Buddy one Sunday, and he took it. And we just kept kind of going to lunch for a couple of weeks, and we would kind of resurrect the idea. And then finally, one day we just said, let's start a company. Let's do it. So that's where Christian Care Box came from several conversations in the lobby and at lunch.
All right. I love that story about remembering names. So Christian Care Box is the name of the product, the name of your company that you founded and are running. So what is it?
Yeah. So the idea is basically there are 19.6 million kids in college right now. Almost every single one of them are going to get a care package from their mom, their dad, their grandparents, their church, their neighbors. And so as I've kind of thought about that, I just thought, man, it would be so cool if parents, grandparents could send their sons or daughters a care package, but it had a spiritual element to it. So not only are they getting snacks and goodies, but they were getting a devotional with it. And I just think you look at the church right now, and it is, college kids are struggling. I've always said, I think it's the most underreached people group in America today. The church allocates a lot of money and resources to youth ministry. The church allocates resource and time and money to adults. But it seems like this middle ground between 18 and 28, we kind of just hope that Christian kids survive college. And I wanted to do something about that. I wanted to just say, hey, we're going to send some snacks. Mom and dad are going to send snacks, but they're also going to send encouragement to grow in their faith.
And let's face it, 18 to 28, the decisions that are made during that decade, quite honestly, they shape pretty much the rest of your life. Yeah. So we think it's really, really odd that historically, the capital C church has had a tough time reaching that age group, because during that period of time, isn't that really where you need faith the most? While you're making the decisions of, what do I want to do for a career? What am I looking for in a spouse? What am I looking for, in a place that I want to live? What am I looking? And so if all those important decisions are being made, Joe and I just really feel like that the capital C church should be feeding into that faith should be feeding into that. And so, I've talked to several parents who are just like, it's not that I don't want to connect with my kids while they're in college. I don't know how to. And so I was talking to a parent a couple months ago, and I was kind of just sharing this vision, this idea. And she goes, I have been meaning to reach out to you. I've got a son. He's doing really well in college, but I have no idea what to send him. I don't know how to connect with him. I don't know how to encourage him to grow. And that's where I think Christian Care Box comes in, is that we say, hey, we want to provide an avenue for moms and dads to be able to pour into their kids, not only spiritually, but also to give them something to feed their stomach. So we always talk about, we want parents to be able to feed their kids physically and spiritually. And so Christian Care Box comes along to say, hey, your kid's in college, and they're going to get a snack once a month from you. But on top of that, they're going to get a devotional. They're going to get a prayer guide. They're going to get encouragement. They're going to be able to grow in their relationship with Christ. And they're going to have a better connection with you, because they're going to know you care and you thought about them.
Yeah, we've talked a lot on the show about that time phase in your life. That's where it goes from your faith kind of being your parents' faith to growing into your own faith. So we agree that that's definitely a time period that we should really be targeting. Mom isn't driving you and dragging you sometimes to church on Sunday or church on Wednesday. And so I think a loving nudge is definitely good. And that sounds like one of the things from the Christian Care Boxes. And especially the snacks. Do you remember like the meal cards? You would get like a small amount that you could use in the school store, and you burn through that like in the first week.
With one Starbucks.
Yes. Oh. Yes, for sure.
Well, and I always felt like whenever my parents and I had probably our best conversations, it involved food or a gift. There was just something about that just made me feel, I don't know, appreciated, heard, seen, whatever the word is. And then it was just like, man, it just was that much easier to receive the message that they were giving me. And I don't think parents have given up on college kids. I just don't think they know what to do.
Yeah. So we're here to help.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to come in and we want to partner with parents. We want to partner with grandparents. We want to partner with churches and say, hey, if you have kind of lost touch with this kid, we want to come alongside and help you reconnect.
Yeah. So we talk to as educators that you got to meet their basic needs, so then they can like use their focus and attention on what you really have to say. So definitely feeding their stomachs allows more, brain activity for what it is that you want to talk about. So how would you sell this to the students, to the college age kids? What do you guys do to make the buy-in? Because I see parents and grandparents wanting to do this, but how do you make it more receptive, or what aspects of the box make it receptive to the student receiving it?
Yeah. So, we talked about, as when we were in college, Buddy, you used to get, obviously letters and encouragement from your church and from your parents. I remember getting care packages from my parents and from my church. And I just remember one, I thought it was cool whenever I got a package. I just thought that was really cool. Two, I thought it was really cool when I got a package and it had food inside of it, because it was like, I just remember being starving all the time in college. And so I remember just when that care package would come, it was like, oh my gosh, like there's food for me, there's food for my dorm, for my suite mates. Like it just was like this cool kind of celebration. And I thought the coolest part for me was I had no idea what was inside. Like it was just like a little surprise Cracker Jack box every single time that somebody sent me a care package. And I just thought, you know what? I just remember that I don't know. I don't know what the right word is. I just felt special. Maybe that's not a great word, but I felt like somebody was thinking about me, took time out of their day to send me something, and it solved a problem, which was I am really hungry right now.
I love it because it helps get your dorm involved as well, because I know that if Farron got something, I'm like, Farron, what'd you get? What'd you get? You know, like that was great. So it's an exciting time, not just for the person who's receiving it, but also who they're close to. And we know that friends are super influential, especially if there's no one helicoptering over them when their prefrontal cortex is trying to fully develop. So it's great to get all parties involved, because then you get to know the friends, kids' friends, which is very important. So I like that aspect of it too.
Yeah. And you know, one funny thing is we've shared this story with people. The most interesting thing for me has been every single person I've shared this with told me a story of when they got a care package. Nobody was like, I think I got a care package. They could tell me when they got the care package, what they got, because it made an impact on that kid where they were like, I remember my sophomore year, I got a care package from my church. I remember my junior year, my parents sent me a care package. It leaves an indelible impression on kids. And once again, I don't think that's coincidence. I really think that there is significant spiritual value and just the fact that it's solving a problem that kids are hungry and they want to feel seen and heard.
And you know, I mentioned earlier that we moved 2 years ago. So I hate to admit it, but during COVID, I actually spent a period of time there unpacking some boxes in my office that I just kind of threw into a corner.
Yeah.
Didn't really take a whole lot of notice of. And one of those boxes had a shoe box in it. And I grew up here in the DFW area in Wiley, but I went to school in New York, and so didn't get home near as much as some of my high school classmates, but I did get a lot of letters from my parents, and so a lot of these letters and notes and stuff are sitting in this shoebox, and so I literally spent an entire day reading through all of these notes, not just from my parents, but from friends. Yeah. And the church that we went to, they actually, as part of the ministry, they actually helped assign somebody to each college student. And so for my freshman year, I'd get 3 or 4 notes from this person. And so those notes were in there as well. But it's odd that whenever I graduated, I was packing up all of my boxes. And, that was a box that I decided to keep. That was something that here I am 15, 20 years later, and it's still important to me.
Yeah,
so
that's so cool.
So this is definitely an attractive thing for the parents. It's kind of like whenever you tell your kid over and over, hey, do this, and they still don't do it. And then their teacher comes along or a coach comes along and says the exact same thing. And you're like, okay, it just took 1,000,001 times for it to sink in. So I think the parents, grandparents, mentors, whoever definitely love this idea. What actually comes in the box besides snacks?
Yeah. So, I mean, we have a variety of snacks. I mean, one of the things,
great snacks.
Yeah, we talked about this is we looked out there. We did a lot of research on this, and we felt like, hey, there are some people that are making care package type things, but they were really basic, not very many snacks, not high quality. And we talked about, like, not only did we want to connect moms and dads with their children, and we wanted them to encourage spiritually, but we felt like we wanted to kind of take the Chick-fil-A model, and we wanted to be excellent at it. We wanted to be the best. And so I think every box is going to have 35 pieces of candy. It's going to have a devotional. It's going to have some type of probably like stress ball or something to just kind of,
a unique item.
Yeah, a unique item for the kid. It's each box is going to have a 60-second devotional video with Dr. J, and we'll have 7 of those.
Yep.
There's going to be a reading guide. I mean, it's basically this box, when they open it, it's, like I said, going to solve 2 things. It's going to feed them physically, and it's going to feed them spiritually. So they're going to get lots of snacks. They're going to get a way to connect with mom and dad, and they're going to have devotionals that are going to encourage them to just daily spend time in God's Word.
Christian Care Box's slogan is made for this. Mm-hmm. So the box is made for the student. We feel like each one of these students is made for whatever God's put
them in a position for, from an educational standpoint, from a future career standpoint. But then the big part about it is the devotional aspect of the box. We feel like that's made specifically for the students because we're taking a biblical character every month. The Bible is full of characters that are seemingly small, and God takes them and does some really great things with them, and so does big things with them. And so we're going to be taking one character every month, and like Joe had mentioned, there's going to be 7 days to it where there will be a reading, there will be a devotional, and there's going to be a QR code. Very simple for the college student to scan the QR code and get 60 seconds with Dr. J. And he's going to give them a little bit, kind of like an executive summary of what the day's devotion is, but some encouragement. And so it'll be a daily thing for 7 days. When we were developing the concept, the idea, of course, the idea always lends itself to doing the most, right? Yeah. Okay, so they're going to get the box on April 1st, and there's going to be 30 days of devotional to it. And we just really want to capture the hearts of these students for 7 days. That's really, if we feel like if they can commit to 7 days of devotions, 7 days with Dr. J, coaching them up, we really feel like that may be a differentiator in their college experience, a differentiator in where their faith leads them through that college experience. So,
and our hope, our prayer is that, a kid comes back on a Friday night and, maybe it wasn't the best Friday night in the world, and he's kind of feeling lost, and he's kind of feeling like, I don't know what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing. And here's this little devotional on his nightstand, and he reaches over and he picks it up and he starts reading it, and God starts to work through that. And I think we all have stories of moments where we felt like, man, that was the right song or the right sermon or the right verse. And we just think, how cool is that for moms and dads and parents to know, hey, there's a little bit of spiritual guidance going into your son or daughter's dorm room every month, that whenever that right moment hits and God starts moving, there's going to be a portal for it. There's going to be a connection. And so that's what we're praying for. That's what we're hoping for. We think there are going to be kids that are going, you know what? It's kind of lost. And I don't know, this kind of helped me get back in my relationship with God.
That's awesome. So in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, he talks about make it attractive. So obviously you're hitting that with the food. But I think that one thing that's going to hopefully instill a spiritual habit with kids is making it attractive in that it's easy to digest. The 7 days, again, it seems manageable. It's better, more likely to happen than, hey, don't forget to go read your Bible. Because again, that's a large task in and of itself. Where do you start? So you're reducing also friction. So the amount of steps it takes to complete the task. So I think that's really good. And the videos too. I mean, we live in a digital world where they're watching TikToks. And so I can commit to a 1 minute video. I mean, I watch way too many 1 minute videos of cats chasing a laser or something ridiculous. So I think, there's going to be a lot of student buy-in from that perspective.
As a kid's in their car or they're on their bus or they're in between classes, they can watch the 60-second video right there. It's super easy. It's super palatable. It's easily digestible. The content is so good that it resonates for a long period of time. That they're like, man, that was only 60 seconds, but he closed with a final question, and I have not stopped thinking about that question for the last 3 weeks. Why did God put me in this situation? Was it just coincidental, or maybe there's a reason I'm here? Maybe there's a purpose. And so we want to hopefully inspire them and encourage them, but to really just get them to just think about, man, what did God make me for? Why did he put me on this planet? Why did he put me at this university? Why did he put me in this friend group? And what we would say is because you were made for this. Like God had a purpose for you.
And I love the idea with the biblical characters, because I think someone who maybe hasn't spent a lot of time in the Bible might assume it's a book of perfection and like all the perfect people that did all the right things. But once you really get into it, you realize that God used flawed people to fulfill his purpose. So again, a lot of flaws will happen and mishaps, especially at that age and in the different situations. So it could be just the inspiration and motivation that they need to hear.
So let's say I get this for my college kid, what do I do after that? Like, okay, they're going to get their box in a month. Like, how do I cultivate the conversations besides being like, what'd you get?
Sure. And that's a great question. So after signing up on www.christiancarebox.com, you will, you'll put in the shipping information for your student. And obviously, at that point, we will start shipping. September through May is the months that are designated for the college school year. And in each care box, there will be a postcard that's pre-stamped. And so that gives the student the opportunity, and there'll be encouragement within the box to write back to whoever's subscribed them to Christian Care Box, to let them know about how their college experience is going, let them know about their thoughts on some of the devotionals that Dr. J is going to be throwing out there. And so, from a Christian Care Box perspective, we will be encouraging your student to write back to you, to give you some feedback as to how things are going.
That gives moms and dads, hey, what'd you get in the box this time? So it gives them a focal point to talk about stuff rather than how was your day? It was good. Yeah. Well, you never tell me anything, like what'd you get in the Christian Care Box? Oh, it's pretty cool, so I think
until I had kids, I always used to tell my parents I didn't learn anything at school. And then, So then now I have kids and they tell me I didn't learn anything at school. And so you got to press into that a little bit. Yeah,
exactly.
So what would you say to the person who wants to give this gift, but they don't feel qualified, or they feel like they haven't put in enough work, or maybe my kid just became a Christian, I don't know what to do, blah. What if I just don't feel qualified?
Yeah, I think this is the exact type of person we want to partner with. That's right. Because a lot of parents don't feel qualified. Christians don't feel qualified. And so they're looking for help from the pastor, help from the church, help from a mentor or something. And this is us coming alongside of saying, listen, we've had the opportunity to go to seminary. There's an opportunity to share some of the information we've been given in bite-sized sources. So rather than mom and dad trying to become the authority and speak into a generation of young people, it would be saying, hey, what if we took our life and partnered with Christian Care Box so that we're connecting with our kids, but we're trusting that Christian Care Box is giving them a little bit of spiritual guidance. And we do this all the time, right? We send our kids to youth group. We put them in Awanas. Once again, not to say that we should only do that, but we have partners all the time. During college, let us partner with you. We want to come alongside of the journey your kid's on, and we want to help you as parents connect and to encourage your kids to grow spiritually.
I love that you're filling that gap, because there is Awanas when you're younger, or VBS, and then there is youth group, but then there's nothing at all. So I like that you're filling that gap right there.
And look, Joe said, the care box is going to be excellent. And that's fully what we're expecting is that the college students are really going to like the contents of the box from a food perspective. But Joe and I we're very passionate about serving parents and their college students. And we just so happen to make care boxes too. So exactly the concept or the scenario that you're throwing out there, Brooke, that's who we're looking for. Yeah. That's the person that, golly, I just don't feel adequate. I don't feel like I'm in a position where this is really a great, I don't want to be writing the letter, right at the beginning here to my college student, but how can I stay in communication with them about their faith? I'd venture to say that this is we're made for this. This is Christian Care Box is made for the folks that have that exact scenario going on. So
yeah, and we joke about that our parents told us stuff, and we were like, yeah. And then a pastor, a youth pastor, a mentor said the exact same thing, and we were like, that's brilliant. And moms and dads are like, are you kidding me? Like, I've been telling you for 5 years not to do this. And he says one word and you listen to him. She says one word. And that's what we want to do is we're going to be the voice of the parents that they feel like maybe they've lost. And so rather than mom and dad saying, hey, are you going to church? Or you're in your Bible? Are you in a good community? That's going to be what we're going to say. And so it's like, well, it's just different because mom and dad, you're supposed to say that. But this is this is a company that they're echoing what you were saying. And it just adds validity to the voice of parents.
It helps give you a village vibe if you don't have a village. So that's perfect. Right.
And we talk a lot about the power of vulnerability, especially with Brene Brown's book, Daring Greatly, that, if you are that parent that is reluctant because you don't feel confident in your knowledge, that's where the conversation can start. And I have a strong-willed middle child, and if she thinks she is smarter than me, she is more than happy to go above and beyond to explain it to me. So sometimes the conversation could be like, man, I wish I had a Christian care box because, is there anything in there that you think that I find interesting or that, you found helpful that might help me because I'm not familiar with that character from the Bible. And even if you are, I don't know. Can you help me with this?
Phrase. So let's say I don't have college kids. I do, but let's say I don't. How can I support or how can I point others to this? What can I do if it's not really, I don't know anyone in that life phase right now?
Well, I think it should probably come to no surprise that the capital C church has really just lost its footing with college kids. And we're really seeing a large epidemic. 75% of Christian kids will walk away from the Christian faith when they step on college. And so it's a mass exodus. It's a huge problem facing the church. And so for parents that have kids, they're like, I want to do something about it, especially my kid. But for anybody else that maybe is a follower of Jesus Christ, it's going, okay, maybe I don't have kids, but I have a Bible study, I have a small group, I have a social media platform, I have friends. And what we would ask you to do is we would ask you to encourage people to hear about it. And so for somebody that goes, you know what, I don't have any kids, but I've got a neighbor, and we were just talking about this the other day, about how she was nervous about her son or daughter going off to A&M or going off to tech or going off to wherever. Hey, you should check out this company because this could help you connect with your son or daughter, encourage them to grow spiritually. And so we would just ask people, listen, if you could share it on social media, if you could talk about it in your Bible studies, if you could encourage people that let us partner with you, because we believe that the way that we help these 75% of these Christian kids walking away is not by ignoring it, but by addressing it. And so we created Christian Care Box because we wanted to address the problem.
I love that. I love that a whole lot. I love how it fills the gap. That's probably my favorite thing, is that it is filling the gap.
And sharing it with others too. I mean, that's where I've gotten birthday party recommendations or beauty product ideas. So,
and this is a great graduation gift too. If they are graduating high school and you need to gift someone something spiritual, that is the good thing to hit. Instead of here's $100, I can channel that and be like, here's whatever box I can give you.
You know what? I'd be the person to oh, that's a great idea. I would do that. And then it'd fall by the wayside. Or I'd go to put the box together and I'd be like, I don't know where to start.
I don't have the bandwidth to make a care package every month. It's a great idea. It's kind of like whoever came up with the Easter eggs that are already pre-filled and taped. I definitely bought those this year. Those were made for me. So the whole idea of, I love this idea. I don't have the bandwidth because either X, Y, Z, whatever. It takes care of all of those problems too. Plus, if you're trying to look for something unique that's going to help over a long course, it's the gift that keeps on giving. You get food every month, plus Jesus.
You know what else I see happening is them texting a thank you text and being like, what are they thanking me for? And then it's oh yeah, that subscription box. Yep, I knew it was coming up this week.
Yes. Okay, so what else do we need to know about Christian Care Box?
So it is a monthly box. You sign up the student, and you can sign up any month. It's a month subscription, and we'll be going through 9 biblical characters the months of September through May.
For the summertime, the kid will have basically 2 options. We can send the package to their home if they go home for the summer, or they have an option to gift that. And we're going to partner with a local food bank in the Dallas area. And basically this summer, whatever boxes are donated, we're going to go and just basically help kids that have reduced or free lunches and they're not in the school system. We're going to stop off and just say, hey, a bunch of college kids wanted to bless you with this in the name of Jesus Christ. And here you go. Here's a Christian Care Box. from Joe in Idaho. Here's a Christian care box from Buddy in New York. Here's a Christian care box from Brooke in Florida. Here's a Christian care box from Farron in California. And so once again, it just gives us an opportunity that these kids feel like, hey, now I'm on mission. Like my box didn't just go and help me figure out what I was made for, but it went and helped this kid who I may never meet what he was made for by God. And so we feel like that's going to be a really cool way to kind of broaden this and make it more of an outreach too. There are parents out there that are just going to go, man, that's a great idea. I could do that myself, or, maybe my church could do something. And what we would say is we think that Christian Care Box really addresses three issues that the parents have. They're not going to be able to do it every single month because life just happens, right? And so you do one in September and then you blink and it's December and you're like, oh my gosh, I totally didn't put together October, November, December. So we're going to make it super convenient for you. You make one decision when you sign up and we take care of the rest of the 12 months. All you got to do is sign up. We'll take care of the rest. The second thing is you're going to get a high quality product that we have spent our time focusing on. And so maybe mom and dad make a really good care package one month, but then the next month they're like, I can't find a shoe box. I don't have time to run across town.
Tough to be consistent.
It's super hard to be consistent. And so we're going to handle that for you. And then the third thing, which we think is equally as important, is that we want to figure out a way to connect mom and dad to their son and daughter, and to have their son and daughter also connecting back to them and to Christ. And so we want to figure out a way to create these connections so that mom and dad feel like they're connecting with their son and daughter and that they're growing in their relationship with Christ. And so I just think every birthday growing up, my parents gave me a card. And I was like, Mom, don't spend money on the card. I would rather have the $4 you spent. But that was her way of connecting with me. And so parents are going, how do I connect with Junior? And we say, well, Christian Care Box. It's a way for you to show them that you love them and you care for them, and it creates something to talk about.
And that's the funny thing about all of this. I always kind of connected intentionality with, I got to be doing something. Mm-hmm. I got to be the one putting it all together. Yeah. And you might not have the bandwidth, or you might not have the skill set that Dr. J has.
Yeah, I think there's parents and there's grandparents out there going, I don't even know how to start the conversation. And what we would say is, let us. We even have an option where, you can sign up for a subscription model, or you could sign up for a semester model, which is you get one at the beginning of the semester and you get one at final exams. And we also have a third option, which is you can just send your student a final exam box. So it's like, hey, I know finals are right around the corner. I know you're stressed. You just need to know that your youth pastor is thinking about you and praying for you. And they're going to get a box from Christian Care Box just for that final exam. And once again, hopefully it's that reminder as they're going into their last final exam and they're going, oh my gosh, I just feel overwhelmed. And it's like, hey, you got a box in the mail. You're like, what do you mean I got a box in the mail? Who sent me a box? And you're like, my youth pastor sent me a box. Like, I don't know. I just think that has an impression on people. I think it makes a difference.
So if you're curious to exactly what Dr. Joe Parrish will be talking about and his theology and hearing him speak on the topic of Christianity, we did interview him for episode 62. So go check that out. Our church also has a YouTube channel, See Life. But Dr. Joe Parrish, is there anywhere else that people can hear you speak?
Yeah, so there's some things out there on YouTube, but probably the easiest way for them to do that is to go to our website at christiancarebox.com, and you're going to see snippets and videos and really what it takes, what your kid's going to be getting each month in their box.
I love it. It's an easy name to remember, christiancarebox.com.
Is it IA or AI?
Oh, gosh. Well, Joe and Buddy, thank you so much for coming on the show and telling us about Christian Care Box. We can't wait for our listeners to hear about this because we know everyone listening right now knows a college student or knows someone who knows a college student.
Yes, and the impact is just endless with this project. So thank you for sharing that.
Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for giving us a platform. I mean, we really believe that this would have encouraged us and helped us. And we want to pay it forward. We want to give back. And so we're just hoping there are kids out there that get a box, and it's part of their story of how God revealed what they were made for.
I love it. Thank you, guys.
Okay, these are so cool. Not just for the person receiving the box, but I think it's very convenient, and I don't mean that as a bad way, but it's very...
You're a 9, I get it.
It's very convenient, yeah. See, I'm the person that if somebody says, hey, it's so-and-so's birthday, let's go in on something, I'm that person, like, let's do it, I'll chip in, I'll even go get it. But I'm not good at having the forethought. But man, that's the best part with the subscription box. I only need to think of it once.
One time,
it automatically delivers if I choose that option. And then they're randomly texting me, hey, thanks for my care box. And I'm like,
you're welcome.
Oh, yes.
That
thing I sent you. Yes, you're welcome.
I like how also it talks about different characters throughout the year. And it's broken down into manageable chunks. It's not going to be some overwhelming thing where it's going to interfere with their studies. It's like, hey, boom, quick thing, let's go. How can I see myself in this? Let me hold up the mirror here and see what can I be doing too.
Overall, I think it comes across as a non-threatening nudge.
Yeah.
To stay where they were at before college, stay close to their faith, and keep growing. It comes with snacks. That came up lots of times. And while you're eating your snack, what do? You're on your social media or your phone anyway. So scan that QR code. It's just inviting, quick and easy. I think it's a really good setup.
Yeah, it is. So if you want more information, at the time of this recording, we caught them on the front end of their business. It is launching after this episode airs, so make sure you head to christiancarebox.com for more information, and you can find them on Instagram as well. We'll link all the places in the show notes.
And we are very excited about this product, so as soon as it is live, we will also share it on our social media.
Yes.
We may even get to open a box. We'll see. I try to talk, I like free. Can I have a sample?
Inside scoop.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we can share with y'all.
Yes, and if you know a college student, know the parent of a college student, are connected with a youth group and can pitch this to them, just remember it's great because it bridges the gap not only between the college student and their faith, but it also bridges the gap between the sender and the receiver as well. So you are getting that kickback of, hey, thanks for the box. It just builds that connection because you don't want to be that parent that's like, what are you doing? I haven't talked to you in like 1 hour. Give them wings. So this gives them space but keeps them close at the same time.
Yes, I will be that parent.
Same.
Now what are you doing?
What are we going to do?
Now what are you doing?
I'm going to call you. Farron, my kid didn't answer. Can I talk to you? What did you do today?
Yes, it'll be great.
All right, guys.
By then, we'll be living probably next door to each other.
I mean, I hope so. That's the dream, huh?
Yep.
Great. Okay, guys. ChristianCarebox.com. That's where you need to head right now. We help hardworking Christian women get the growth they want by giving them the tools they need in order to have more joyful lives.
We love providing our Christian-based personal growth podcast to our listeners at no cost. If you are enjoying the content, please consider supporting our mission by donating to our Patreon.
We're a small team creating the show for our community by researching, recording, and producing the episodes ourselves. Any amount is greatly appreciated. Your support will help offset the cost of making and hosting the show.
As a thank you, you can receive exclusive access.
For more details on specific membership tiers, visit our Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/witty and gritty. We've included the link in the show notes.